Hello, guys. It's October 6th, 2020, and it's the birthday of my brother. So, first, a shout out. Happy birthday to Ryan Yu. Okay, let's begin. Awesome 10x Live. It's Philippine market update. It's been a very volatile movement today, and I will discuss. Okay, let's go to the stats first. You could see that the top trading activity has been on your DITO, your NOW, and your C. It continues to get the headlines, but today's movement has been going up and down. So it's been a roller coaster ride. You could see that Dito hugged 2.5 billion pesos. Now Corp also got 971 million pesos. Chelsea was smaller, 260 million. And then IDC, 100 million pesos. ABS was 123 million pesos. Marimart was 140 million. And then the rest are your usual blue chips. You've got BDO, 158 million. P Gold is 130 million, SM Prime is 92 million, Ayala Land is 140 million, Telephone is 230 million. So it's the usual Metrobank, Jollibee, MPI, GT Capital, BPI, ICT. There was actually a time when everything was red except for Dito, now C, and IDC. So actually there was an ABS, of course, a while ago was 12. You could see that there is a very strong movement. It's you could see that it's just 0, 13%, -4, -12, -14. But actually a while ago it was above 10, above 20%, and then -20%. So there was really a huge activity happening in these top five names, or you could say Dito, now C, and then IDC and ABS. So we'll discuss those five names. Naturally, you can see that they were also the most active names. Yes, MPI continues going up with 383 from 380 to 383. There's that buyback share program on MPI. But everyone has been really trading both Dito and Now. So in the top gainers, you could see that actually this might be misleading because there's also a lot of volatility. So we'll just go straight to the charts for all these companies. Okay, so let's just go one by one. Dito Telecom, let's just go to the charts first. There's a lot of activity here. So as you could see, I'm not sure why Dito fell in the last 15 minutes or something, or maybe 1 hour ago. So Dito fell from 8 to as low as 5.2. Chances are it was a lot of profit taking, a lot of panic, given that it went up from about 4 to as high as 8, or almost of 100%. And of course, those people who even got it at that 350, let's say they got it at about 350, and then more especially for those who got it very low, they've been taking profits. So we can see that there are some selling, and this might be just the first day of profit taking. It could lead to another profit taking tomorrow. That move today is a sign that it could have been the top. So wait lang, guys. My chart isn't working, but let's see on the daily. Or let's just go to bigcharts.com while it's loading. Actually, I wasn't sure a while ago because it was hanging as well. I'm not sure it was my internet connection or was there any problem straight really with the brokerage firms. But so far my WealthSec was fine. So I'm using WealthSec platform. I had no problem with when it comes to trading. It was the virtual account that was more of the problem. I'm not sure if you guys were using your Investa. Was there any hang? Anyway, but let's go to Dito. Let's just check these Dito Telecom. That's just the charts. Been a while since I used big charts. So I've always been using Trading View. So okay, so we need to check that 15-minute chart. Maybe we'll see that in the 1 day. So the volatility has been immense. As you can see, it went from 8 and then fell to as low as 5.5, 5.2. So you could see that the high was 805, the low was 5.2. It opened at 7. We should assume that this 7 to 8 is your first line of resistance, and that this rally from 5.2 to 6.8 could probably be just the first lower high. So it is something that we should be aware of, that this is a huge panic drop and that any rallies is just a chance to potentially sell. It could even go to 750, but I think that the chances to sell at 8 might be a little bit muted. Maybe you posted you're selling at about 840 because 840 was the previous high. And it didn't reach that 840. It fell 805. It was nearing that area. So let's go to the chart. You could see that in the daily chart, see it in the monthly perspective. So you could see that Dito Telecom always had these horizontal vertical movements. Sorry, not horizontal. It always had this vertical movements, no? From about 150, it managed to rally to 850, fell down back to 150, even fell to 1 peso, and now back to 8. So it was also the same period before. Dito Telecom did that and then had at least 12 years of drought from 10 years, from 2009 to 2019. So you could see that here at about 750 to 8, people are looking to sell here, not to buy anymore. So we are seeing a sell resistance here, and then a sell resistance here, and then a sell resistance here. So it seems like 777 is a huge resistance. Even at 680 for now, we will push this, put this sell button. It's possible that it might be, it can even go higher tomorrow, but we could see that this is a full range of selling area. So these are a lot of selling zones. Even if it can go to $8, it can also go down back to about 6 or 5. So we are seeing a lot of selling pressure here. And for those who got this movement, congratulations. Now, where will be the next line of support if this is the top? So typically before for Dito Telecom, after hitting a top, there's always that lower high movement. You might see an attempt to buy back at about 450 or even at 5. So we might need to see a secondary low, a higher low at about 5 or about 450. It's still not clear to me where the support will be, but it's clearer to me that this one looks to be a certain resistance. So you've got these resistances at about 680 and about 780. I guess those who have now those who have Dito Telecom, Dito. So this is the third telco, might need to take some profits if you have this and if you have it. So today's movement is showing you a potential resistance, and that 2.5 billion pesos today is already telling you that this is a potential top. So if you sold at about 770, or if you have it, it looks like 770 to 680 is a potential selling area. Where will you pick it up? So far, we saw that the market picked it up here at about 516, 520. But it can also buy back here at about 445 if you really like to buy it back. So it's going to be a trading range. It looks like a very, very huge range. And of course, that is what so very strong momentum, but also a very strong resistance now. So we might pull back. Now let's take a look at Now Corp. So Now Corp has also suffered a resistance today, trading as high as about 6.4. So we noticed yesterday that actually that Now Corp has been doing well. And we were saying that that movement could continue higher. And indeed, it went higher today. However, with the resistance of Dito, it might seem as if the fourth telco might also have a resistance. So we are seeing that it didn't hit 7, but it managed to hit this 650 area. So now Corp was able to hit this higher low, this resistance here at about 630 today. Didn't rise 7, 8, 10, 13, but we are seeing that these were your prior resistances. You've got these resistances at 9 and 10. So what would happen with Now Corp? Okay, with Now Corp, it looks like so far, if you will base it on the support, today it managed to have a support here at about nearing 4 peso or about 412. So, but we don't know if tomorrow will be volatile again, because the Now Corp and Dito Telecom and the Chelsea, they do move quite a lot in tandem, and you could see that the volumes have been picking up, but also the volumes are both on the upside and on the downside. It's very volatile. So for those who got Now Corp very early, it's good for you. So we saw that the news was as early as this one, about 2.6. So some people who got in at 2.6 must have sold somewhere at about 5 or 6 today. Even if they sold at 5, that is still representing 100% move. And this move today could be a first resistance. So we are seeing that first resistance. So let's put that arrow here, a sell resistance at about 630. And then any rallies back to as high as 550 might be a potential selling zone. So we don't know if it will go 550. It will be a lot depending on how the market will trade the volatility. It could go down, can go up. So, but what we do know is that so far there is quite a support. Some buyers here at about 3.8. So here, the first support would be 3.8. And I don't know if it will fall, but we'll see if it will fall. But so far, it is in a very tricky range. So dito and now are both in a tricky range. Now, Chelsea has also fallen down and it fell further. Wait, let me just show you. While it's loading, so all these companies have been moving up and down, but volume value traded. In fact, today the value traded is as high as 6.6 billion because these five names dominated like 50% of the trading. Especially now and Dito, they were 3.5 billion altogether, or representing 50% with just two names traded. So Chelsea Logistics, you'll notice that it fell from 640 down to 480. Some people might have a heart attack with that move. And then, of course, it rallied back to 620, even managed to rally 695. And then today, another heart attack move downwards. So unless you don't want cliff dives, like it's like a wild movement. So you might as well just be aware that there are resistances staying here at about 640, and then another resistance here at about 7 peso for Chelsea Logistics. So where is your support for Chelsea? Very strong movement would be happening at about 480 to 440 in my view. So there will still be volatility, but I think the top for both Dito, Now, and C could be seen in the short term. Of course, anything can happen in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, but we're just talking about in the next week. It looks like for the next week alone, or at least for the next 5 to 10 days, looks like these resistances are quite heavy. Now, for ABS-CBN, let's take a look at this name. ABS-CBN rallied from as low as 7 to as high as 12. So some people took profits. Where will ABS-CBN go? In the short term, I think that you have to check whether ABS-CBN does have a support really here at about 750. So also, some people might have picked it up today at 850 after falling to 1250. So they might have sold half or all their shares here when it was falling at 12 and 11. And we'll see whether that 750 mark will be retested. Is it a retest? Will it be a higher low retest? Or will it be just a retest back here to about 750? We need to see, but so far, there's a very strong support for ABS-CBN here at about 750. Now for IDC, stock dividends went up 50%. So I guess the market saw that it was taking advantage of that 50% rally, and from about 210 to as high as 310 in just a couple of days, less than a week. So some people also are just trading this. So we are saying that it's gonna be a big movement, big ranges. 310 fell to 220. So it's obvious that this is gonna be your first resistance. Of course, you don't know the resistance until it peaks. So even if you didn't sell at 310, you could still sell it at about 280 or 290. Any rallies back to about 270 to 280 might be resistance, no? So you might see a lot of resistance. So at 250, it's quite a bit of it's a 50-50 risk reward. You can hit 50% higher, meaning 50% chance it can go higher. It can also go 50% chance going lower. But with IDC, we are seeing that on their daily, there's a very strong support so far here at about 220. So your previous resistance at 220 is now your first line of support. So very volatile. And as long as volume and value traded is still there, you might see people still trading these names. But when you see, but you see this huge volume, it just tells you that Dito, Now, C, IDC, ABS, there's a huge profit taking. Today was a huge profit taking day. Now, what else can we say? Okay, so a lot of your blue chips have fallen. Let's take a look at each one of them. Your pure gold is falling down to 45.85. Is this a chance to pick it up, given that the market has sold down their blue chips in possible movement to some of these more volatile names? So far we saw that pure gold here at about 42 has been supported, and then here at 46, although that is a support, sure it can fall down. But if you're buying today at 45.85, as long as you're willing to buy here at about 42, then you can have that risk reward in your favor. So the resistance will still be this 50 peso mark or about 49.6. We have seen 54 go down to 46. It's almost an 8 peso drop. So some people are willing to buy this pullback. Now we're also seeing the same thing happen. Your Cebu Pacific fell down from about 39 to as high as from about as high as 39.70. It's now back to the range of 36.55. So those who are trading the ranges of Cebu Pacific could be buying low and then selling high. So that is also a strategy that some people do. They just place a GTC order. They buy back their Cebu Pacific or they accumulate at 36.55. They sell half at 40 so that they can sell more at 45 and 50. So that is a viable strategy for your SEB. Of course, we're seeing the same thing happen with your Metro Bank. Metro Bank here at about 39, it might be profit taking so that at 35 below, if it falls down again, that people will buy it back. So Metro Bank is now hitting near the top end of the range. So we don't know if it can break above that. But so far, it seems as if this top range is usually a resistance. So nearing 40 pesos is a selling area. Nearing 35, 36, 34 is a buying area. So just wait for your chance. We saw the same thing happen. Jollibee tried to rally as high as 150 but fell down again. So it rallied only to 144, then go up to 150, and then now back to 137. Should Jollibee go down back to 130, we should be seeing a lot of supporters again at 130 or even back down to 120. So this is just part of how trading range happens and those who are accumulating at a higher low. We are seeing, of course, ICT. There was news that ICT had a Cameroon terminal. So maybe I'll read the news straight from the desk, no, from the news sources. But you could see that after breaking out of this 108, 110, it managed to go 115. It even fell down to 112. That was a pullback, but managed to close at 117. So far, ICT is probably tracking its pace to 124 and 128, 129. I'll read the news on ICT for you. Wait up. Let's read that. ICT Cameroon Terminal. So that was a news just a few days ago. But anyway, it was been reported, no? City on the move, Kribi, Cameroon, ICT confirmed for Kribi multipurpose terminal, World Cargo News. So let's read this, even if it's some confirmation, no, for Kribi multipurpose terminal. Let's read this. So ICT has signed the concession contract with Port Autonome de Kribi or PAK for the development, operation, maintenance of Kribi multipurpose terminal. Okay, sorry, I can't read the entire news, but World Cargo News. Let me see if it has news here. Okay, I agree. So let's read their news here. Cameroon Terminal starts commercial operations at the port of Kribi. This was shared just October 2. So Kribi Multipurpose Terminal has started commercial operations at the multi-purpose terminal of the port of Kribi in Cameroon, Central Africa. Located within the port of Kribi, KMT is purposely built to handle multi-purpose shipping line services including RoRo, project, heavy lift cargo, forestry products, dry bulk, and other general cargoes, offering support services to the oil and gas industry. Under the concession contract, KMT will develop, operate, maintain the multi-purpose facility at Kribi, a newly built deep-water port located 170 kilometers south of Douala. Phase 1 consists of 265 meters of berth, 10 hectares of yard. Phase 2 consists of additional 350 meters of berth, 23 hectares of yard. The whole facility has 16 meters of water depth. Equipped with state-of-the-art handling equipment, KMT is capable of accommodating the largest vessels plying the waters today. The concession contract has a duration of 25 years until 2045. So it's a 25 years contract. We are excited to kick off our operations in Cameroon. Port of Kribi is located on the Atlantic coast from capital Yaounde. Kribi is strategically positioned at the center of the Gulf of Guinea. So so there you could see the pictures, and that's their terminal. So about ICT, ICT has been in existence since 1988. That would mean that it's around 32 years already in Manila, Philippines. So ICT is in the business of port development, management operations. ICT's portfolio of terminals and projects are located in developed and emerging market economies such as Asia Pacific, the America, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. It's independent with no shipping or consignee related interests. ICTSI works, transacts transparently with all the stakeholders of the supply chain. It has continued to receive global acclaim for its public-private partnerships focused on sustainable development. Do check it out, ictsi.com. So that is a good news for ICTSI. Top gainers, if you are gonna look other than your Now Corp, let's take a look at them. So with volume, you've seen ICT, that's the number one, 100 million. And then JG Summit is just there, 63 pesos. Then APL, I don't know, this is just 6 million, so not much. Frutas, 14 million, still small in comparison. Your MRC, still small, 16 million pesos. Now, where's losers? So you've got losers. Okay, your ABS got a lot of selling, 120 million pesos. We mentioned this already, no? IDC and ABS, it's volatile. Lopez also fell down. AEV down 4%, 45.5. Pure Gold is big down today, 45.85. Chelsea is big down today, but it was up a while ago, so it's very volatile. Yeah. So that I think like the title for today is just volatility all over. Volatility and really volatile. So naglag nga yung Investa today. Actually, there was I'm pretty sure that you guys might have lost some money in that lag. No lag, no problem ba sa WealthSec kanina? So far, hindi naman. Wala naman kaninang problem. Although depende na siguro sa internet connection mo. Kasi like yung internet connection ko, minsan, di ba, naglalag din ako. Pero so far, okay naman. Hindi naman nagkaroon ng problema. Now, disclosure reward, allowing Velarde to subscribe at 2.25 per share. Is that good for shareholders? I really don't know much about what's gonna happen. So it might be better to just stick to the charts right now. So far, the Now Corp, you could see that medyo magulo medyo volatile So dito and now masyadong volatile. So far, parang dikit yung galaw nila. If dito goes up, Now Corp goes up. So far, magulo So Now Corp went 6.25, fell down to 4 pesos. Nakaka-heart attack yan. So some people might be just chart-wise. Looks like there might be some resistances. You could see that 6.25 so far. But there have been, I think there's buyers at about 3.8 and 3.5. So magulo pa yan. I really cannot say anything about it's very volatile. So maraming sigurong nagkakagulo given today's lag nga, yung iba nagkaroon ng lag. So yun, naglag nga yung Investa, agree. My internet connection a while ago, medyo problema nga. What do you think of the IPO of Converge? Is it overpriced or good price? Thank you. I didn't study IPO of Converge ITC. I've seen the news that it's about they're raising 30 billion pesos. So I think like Filipinos need all of these telecom providers, these broadband. From a fundamental sense, I wouldn't understand how they will make money in the next 2 years, but because they have to spend. So typically Globe and PLDT, they have to spend like billions. We're talking about 30 billion, 40 billion pesos capex every year. So in order to recover the 30 billion pesos, it's going to take maybe 7 years, 10 years. So I don't expect the company to immediately turn out a profit. So it's a bit of just an infrastructure model that is needed in the Philippines. So I think that broadband infrastructure really needs to improve for the entire Filipinos. So I think of Converge more like a necessity, but I am not aware of the valuation. How will the market trade it? How will the market purchase it? But what I do know about Converge is that they have about 8 institutional investors. So I guess these investors are trying to just increase the broadband connection of the Philippines, and eventually within about 3 to 5 years, it really depends on whether they can turn out a profit. Is it 5 years? Is it 7 years? But I think that all of these companies are not expected to make money. They are expected, however, to execute based on their nationwide coverage. Hopefully, you can have your, like I per se is excited to have a broadband connectivity with Converge, or maybe these Dito Telecoms or Now Fiber, whichever. Because I'm using currently PLDT, and it's good to have some providers that will improve our internet services. So I think of it in that level. Chelsea is going to increase their authorized capital, making preferred shares convertible good news. So usually all of these convertibles, it is an expansion play. So they are trying to raise money. So example, if Chelsea is doing at 6 pesos, maybe the convertible shares at about 350 or 4 pesos. So I really don't know what the prices are, but what I do know is that typically convertible will be at a discount. So it is good news to those people who are getting it at a discount, but it is bad news to others who don't have it at a discount, because convertible shares at the same time that they have a very low price. Of course, I'm not sure how the lock-up period would be. Is it about 6 months lock-up, 1 year lock-up? But I think that is how usual preferred shares convertible are made. Thoughts on Pure Gold, Miss Nikki? Pure Gold is, I think it's a good company. The current sell-off might be presenting a good opportunity to enter back. So if you don't have Pure Gold, you can buy it at about 45.85 today, with the portion to also buy at 42 if it falls down. What is a good support level for Ayala Land and Ayala Corporation? Okay, let's take a look. Generally speaking, Ayala Corp had a support at about 685 recently. We were even speculating that even at 680 can go to 640, but so far it had rallied already 718. Resistance of Ayala Corp might be here at about 765 to as high as 800 pesos. And then your Ayala Land is steady lang. So far it got its support. It had support here at about 27. At 30, it's just flat. So it's in neutral zone. It can go to about 34, but there's a huge resistance here at 34. So some people might wait below 28, 29 if they really want to get a really good support for Ayala Land. But it's steady lang siya. Emotion din yung nag-trigger kanina sa sell dahil sa lag. Siguro for now, na heart attack siguro kasi 8, tapos biglang tingin, uy 6, tapos ibang tingin lang, ano 5 na lang. So it's a little bit talking about Dito Telcom because I think everyone was looking at Dito. So I guess the market is gonna have some resistance if it even if tomorrow. So I don't know if everybody was able to sell their shares if they were trading these Dito, now Chelsea. So yung mga movement na volatile na ganyan, it will trigger a lot of selling, not buying. So it's just volatile. Of course, if it falls another 20% tomorrow, baka they might not sell anymore. So I really don't know how it will open up tomorrow. But it looks like a while ago when it fell from 8 to 5, people are gonna see that rally back to about 7 or back to 8 more as a potential selling rather than a potential buying. So thoughts on ASEN? Should I wait more or before I buy again? ASEN, I think, so far, natutulog nga siya sa mga 310 because the market was very heavily trading all of these Dito, Now, and C, no? So they were trading all those 5 names, IDC. So ASEN so far, 3.1, steady asleep. Okay, sorry, I was actually nahang tuloy yung aking this only just tells you that we really need a better internet provider. So I would say that the demand is there for a better broadband, for a better telecom. The market wants a better broadband connectivity, and whoever can succeed will probably be welcomed by Filipinos. For AGI and ASEN, you're seeing AGI similar to MPI also getting a lot of buyback program. So AGI has solidified its bottom at about 550 and 6. So I'd say that any rallies of AGI back to about these 6 peso level would be welcomed by buyers. But then again, I think AGI is steady lang naman at 7. So AGI is just steady. This one is the chart of ASEN. ASEN is still consolidating. Some people might be buying here at about 306, but they can also buy here at about 280. So far, higher low. You're just seeing people taking profits. Those who got in at 280, probably they're waiting and then nakita nila na matagal, so they sold some. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for the day and hope that you are okay and hope that the internet connection will really improve in the Philippines over time. So that's it. Thank you very much. Bye bye.